Good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome to another sensory walk. And what a beautiful day it is so far. And it's been beautiful yesterday as well. Today I'm at the Share Shack here on St. Vincent Street West in Ladywood. We're near Edgbaston Reservoir and we're near the canal. And I'm with my special guest today, you can see just behind me. And I'm going to get him to introduce himself and introduce this place where we're at and what happens here normally, and hopefully we'll be starting soon once we are out of our restrictions. So I've just seen the numbers are rising. Welcome to our live viewers. It's Taz and Sam. We're going to be out doing a sensory walk today, taking in some of the grow sites around locally, and we're going to cover a little bit of a walk around and end up and finish our walk at Edgbaston Reservoir. So those who know that, you'll be familiar with some of the sites we're going to go to, and those that don't, this will be a first chance for you to see what beautiful spaces we got here, what great work that Sam does here in the local community in terms of growing and connecting people, and maybe you can come out and retrace our steps and tell us your experience after we've done this live video for you. So that's the introductions over. We're going to be out for about 45 minutes to an hour. Hopefully you can enjoy this. If you're not out doing your walk or you're home, you're stuck, stick this on, share it with your friends. There's a very simple share button right at the bottom on the left. Hit share and that will go to all your friends and they'll be able to see it as well. So I will turn my camera now and introduce my guests officially. Hello, you're on.
Hello folks. Yeah, my name is Sam Ewell, and as Taz says, we're in Ladywood B16. We're in front of the Share Shack here, and this is a partnership with Eat Make Play and TAWS. Yeah, I wear a couple of hats. One is I'm a co-director for Eat Make Play, which is a social enterprise based in B16. We began as a community event on the field, the playing field by the reservoir, which is where we'll end up. So we'll show you that space on the walk. And that grew to lots of neighborhood connections, connecting with other organizations and activities to build up community participation. And we have this shop in Ladywood, which is a share library. So we focus on sharing things and sharing skills. What's interesting about this space, and Taz, I think you were here on the day, we're gonna have the launch of this space, I think it was March 14th. But
That's
yeah,
right,
it was on a Saturday in 2020, and it was the shop was going to open on the 16th, and that was the day that the restrictions came in. So we've never really had a proper launch. The most we've ever been able to kind of welcome and do things in the shop is with rule of 6. So yeah, watch this space. It's a great community space to encourage sharing of things, sharing of skills, a lot of peer-to-peer sharing, and community connection. And April 12th, we're working with the government protocols as a non-essential shop to open on April 12th. So definitely want to welcome you in this space. And if everything goes according to plan and protocols, we want to have the launch that never happened. We want to have that maybe in July, once school's ended, and welcome you into this space. And should I say something about where we're sitting here, Tad? Yeah, because we're outside, and one of the themes of this walk is really around green spaces and B16. So I want to big up one green space that doesn't get enough press. It's one of the hidden gems. These are the planters on St. Vincent Street. So if you might know St. Vincent Street, it's where Ladywood Community Center is. We've got St. John's and Peter's Primary School across the street. There are a couple of churches, lots of shops. But it's one of those, it's kind of a mini high street and lots of footfall. There's always, particularly this time of year on a weather like today, there's a bit of buzz, a lot of footfall on the street. And there are these planters here, and I'm told they've been here for a couple of decades. They're not going anywhere, as you can tell.
Yeah,
they're bricked in.
Permanent ones.
Yeah, and we measured them. It's 2.7 meters diameter, which is kind of a supersized planter. Ideal for, we're gonna probably put a fruit tree in the middle, something in the middle to hold that space. But last year when we were shop fitting and we arrived here, in January to March, kind of looking ahead to spring, we were looking at these planters and thinking, yeah, those need to come back to life. And then one of my favorite stories about being at 8 Meg Play, I met Abba, who's an Ethiopian neighbor, lives across the street, and we started gardening and weeding and tending here. And then Ray shows up, and Ray lives behind the shop, and Ray is born and raised right here in B16. Abba, Ray, and I became friends. Abba and Ray independently have become friends, and now Ray and Abba call the planters their babies. Their babies. So you can tell there's lots of connection and care. And I think one of the things that's probably worth saying, Taz, maybe you've seen this like with walks and your runs that you do. If you show up around a common activity, whether it's walking or gardening, it gives people permission to show up. Do you know what I mean? Because I think deep down, especially during COVID, we're wired for connection. We want to connect. So gardening is one way that we give people to show up on purpose, to be neighbors on purpose. So last week, as an example, we started putting the compost out, and we met 3 people that we'd never met who now said, I want to come regularly and garden here, just because we were here. Yeah. So that's one of the patterns I've noticed, is how green spaces are unique in that you don't have to walk into a building, you don't need a passport, it's open, and they're easy to get into, easy to get out, but once you get in, they could be really kind of sticky in a good way, where you feel connected.
Absolutely, I agree, because that's the safe space that you've created. You've created that environment. Yeah. It's all about sharing, learning, and welcoming, and that's what we do with the run groups, walk groups, and that's what you've done with the growing sites.
Right.
But as we're doing a sensory walk,
I was really going to
say, let's smell.
Any guesses on what can you zoom in on this plant?
Yes,
this is what I've picked here.
So,
I wanted to give.
Anybody know the plant? Write it in the comments.
Yeah.
Say hello to us in the comments as well, and do interact. This is an interactive walk and talk. So Sam's gonna
I'm just gonna.
this.
Taz, let me just give you, and if you can't, I'm gonna give you just one, and then if you just kind of mash it up, rub it between your fingers, and tell me what.
There we go. There it is.
Yeah. You know what I'm smelling? Has anyone guessed the name of the plant?
Has anyone guessed the name? If you write it in the comments now, I'll have a quick look before we mention. Anybody? Hello? No, nothing come through at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on it.
That's okay. You'll know the word. You might not know it as a plant. This is a curry plant.
Ooh, curry, yes.
Yeah.
It does smell strongly of curry now.
To me, this smells almost like brown sugar. It's got this kind of mildly, I know we don't think about brown sugar necessarily with curry, but it's got this, it's mildly sweet. That's how I would describe it.
That's a wonderful smell.
Sweet overtone.
Wonderful smell.
All right.
And then what else have we got on the other planters nearby?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. Good morning, folks. Good morning, Mo. Good morning, Daisy.
Good morning.
Yeah. We're doing a little walk here, Mo. Good to see you, bro. Yeah. Right. I've got one. We'll do one more plant identification and sensory. It's here. This one. I think this one might be easier to identify.
Okay,
this is another herb. Very fragrant. Lots of uses for cooking or for making tea. In Brazil, where my wife is from, this is called erva doce, the sweet herb, and you make it. It's usually consumed as a tea. This is here called fennel. Yeah. Right. So I'm just gonna have a little graze here as we walk.
Can I have a smell?
Yeah. Have.
Yes. That smell and that taste as well. So we're using the sensory elements there.
That's
we've got smell.
Let's see.
Taste,
We got the
sight, touch. We're feeling the textures as well.
Right. We got the sounds of
urban
St. Vincent Street coming back to life. A bit more of a buzz. Yeah, so these, like I said, these planters have been here for a couple of decades. It's actually a really lovely community project. Can you just see these insets? They're actually copper insets. People, like there's a biscuit. I don't know if it's a digestive, but maybe that's a potato, that's a clothespin. the community artist asked people sort of what are objects that remind you of your place, of your home, and so this is what these insets are. And yeah, I'm told they're copper, and they've been here for a couple of decades. And what's interesting, Taz, if you can just come.
Oh, there's some writing.
There's a theme. Mm-hmm. So here it says our stories, and let me see. Here's a story. None of us had anything to pinch. So maybe someone's remembering some tough times here. None of us had anything to pinch. Oh my goodness.
Sam, I've walked past here many times. I've not noticed this, so there you go. It's about stopping, noticing, and appreciating and learning. That's all the 5 ways to well-being. One of those points is stopping and noticing. So I need to stop and notice.
That's it.
More.
Here's a lovely one. I don't know if you can see. We are all equal. So that's a message. And that was our stories. And this planter, the theme of this planter is our people.
Our people.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful.
My favorite person is my grandma. Because she's got false teeth and she can't hear me whisper. So someone's got
the child has put down the teeth there as well. Can you see that?
Oh my goodness.
That's brilliant. So this is just wonderful. Just stopping here at the planters, not only seeing what's growing here, touching, feeling, smelling, and if you are taking stuff, just be mindful. This is a community growing. It's for everyone to share. You may take one leaf to smell. You may take something to taste. But make sure you leave it so that others can enjoy the space as well. It's really important.
That's it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're going to do this year is to create more signage, because last year was our first pass at doing it. And I think the principle that we want to encourage, again, it's not in any way fencing people away or trying to defend the space. It's the contrary. It's trying to make it an invitational space. But the principle will be eat one, grow one. So if someone comes and asks, can I take that courgette? Yeah, try it and tell us how you do it. Someone came last year and taught us how to use the leaves of the courgette, which isn't as common. And so we would say, it's sort of like the principle of you've received something, what would you like to give back? It's that kind of eat one, grow one. Come bring something that you love to plant, come grow with us.
Yeah.
But it's very much about a space that's welcoming and it's easy to get into. Can I just point out here 2 things? So we've talked about the planters and my friend Daniel Blyden from Civic Square came by and walked, and he's got a real eye for, he's a designer. He's got an eye for space. And he said, yeah, man, you could think of them as neighborhood monuments, which I thought was a lovely way of thinking about, it's not a statue of a person, but it's a monument to memories and to a place. Mm-hmm. So it allows your imagination actually to kind of run, because you're not just fixed on one face or one image, but to think about it's a monument to the memories in this place, but also it invites you to think about your own place, your own memories, that kind of thing. Yeah. But also this place, worth pointing out here, what do you notice about this line, Taz?
Okay, there is some bits missing on the wall there, we noticed, but it's still wonderful and welcoming.
It is wonderful and welcoming.
Mosaic here on the floor, but what's the story?
Well, I wanted to point out, because when Daniel came by last week and I was showing him the space, I had seen the space, seen the insets for 2 years, and I had never noticed that in the last 6 months how many have been nicked. Yeah. And this is also a part of this place, is there are basically homeless people have been nicking, people that have been desperate. I don't know, I can't say that they're homeless. What I would say is people in desperation have come and seen these are valuable, they're made of copper, and they've been nicked. And I think this is also part of our walk of being in B16, is recognizing, yes, we want to celebrate the beauty, the green spaces, but also the fact that these have been nicked tells us that this is also a place where some people are really in desperation. Yeah. So.
And we talk about it here because we're reaching up to the Ladywood Health and Community Centre, which is a site for the Incredible Surplus and formerly the Real Junk Food Project Birmingham. So if anyone is in desperation, we've been delivering those food parcels from here. as the Active Wellbeing Society as a base when we started, and now we've moved to other sites. But people who are in desperate need of food, the basic need of food and feeding their families, you know, we're here, and Ladywood's been a model example of the work that's happened here. So that's fantastic that you've talked about desperation, and we are there to help you in these difficult times.
That's it, yeah. And you know, going back to the beginning of the first wave a year ago, TAWS led lots of community organizations with emergency food response. We kind of aligned all of our capacity and momentum with that. You mentioned Incredible Surplus. There's so many groups, and I think this year we want to say, yes, we still need emergency food. Unfortunately, we need that response, but we also want to think about ways that keep people away from emergency, and we need everything we can get. So the planters are a way to encourage that turn away from emergency to well-being.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And to grow on our own. I also wanted to point out.
Yeah, you need compost as well, don't you?
Yeah, you need compost. So one of the things that encouraged us to grow on that end was that the planters on this end were already, there's some of the growers there, were already being tended.
Yeah.
And even before we moved into the shop, I noticed there was sweet corn. It was almost like a mini allotment here. And the guys here that tended, it's mostly guys that were tending on this end, it was a bit of friendly competition. They said, "Oh, you down there? When you gonna grow? You know, when you gonna take care of it?" So we had a bit of friendly competition, which turned into sharing seeds and plants. And this year they noticed that we started by adding compost, and they hadn't amended. So this year, I just wanted to show. I don't know if you could zoom in.
Yeah, I'm zooming in. Yep.
This was yesterday. Ray and Abba. This is actually, it's not manure. It's spent grain. So this is waste from a brewery in Jewelry Quarter. So when you brew the beer, this is just the grain, the malt. It's what's left over. One of our principles, which I know is also a principle for the Active Wellbeing Society, is about reducing waste.
Yes.
So it's sort of working with what's at hand. You might call it upcycling, but this is what people have always done. They work with organic material that's at hand, put it back in the soil where it belongs, not in the landfill. So yesterday, Ray and Abba came here. What's up, bro? Came and put the compost, added some soil. So these beds are ready for spring.
Fantastic. Yeah, and we're going to look forward to the growing on these sites now. And spring's here. Spring is sprung. So here's some colors we're going to show you.
Ezra. Give it
wonderful. I'm just going to show you a 360 of this planter. And the colors here you can see, and it's spring has sprung. So you can see the planters ahead all the way along this stretch here of these shops, businesses nearby. But what a wonderful space, for welcoming space for people. And thank you to Sam and Eat, Make, Play and all the team here who've done this and created this for our well-being. So if you don't have a garden, just being out here, walking down the street, connecting to this green space will give you that lift that you need in life, you know, and just a little bit of positivity for you starting your day, maybe if you're out on your walk, or if you're out taking the children to school and coming back, collecting from school. What a lovely spot for the children to come and see and experience as well.
Yeah, here they come.
I'm talking about children. We won't get them on camera, but we've got a school, a nursery being led out now.
Group,
yeah. It's nice that we'll be walking past the planters hopefully, and then noticing and stopping and experiencing. Yeah.
I'll make sure I stay clear for half hour.
All right, Paul.
Are you alright, are ya?
All good, Paul?
Good.
Give me some elbow, man.
Okey coke.
So that's the Ladywood Health and Community Centre, the wonderful Paul there welcoming people.
That's right,
as well.
man. He's the man at the gate for the community center. Let's see. I think
cut through.
Yeah, I think we cut through
just through the lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So this is the side entrance of the Ladywood Health and Community Centre, and there's some works going on behind there.
There's here's the usual suspects with Incredible Surplus.
Incredible Surplus. And, shall we have a quick word?
Yeah, let's say hi to. All right. All right, good people. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, this.
Hello, we're doing a live video on Facebook. Would anybody from Incredible Surplus like to say a few words? Don't be shy. You do some amazing
Come on.
work.
Come on, Ruth. Hey, Ruth. I was just saying, we're doing this live walk with Taz, bigging up some of the spaces in B16. Any of you want to jump on?
Just a few words
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, come on, Ruth.
This is live on the Active Wellbeing
Yeah.
Society page.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. Yes.
Hi, I'm Ruth Carlos. Currently working with Incredible Surplus.
Got the T-shirt and everything.
Oh yes, yes. So, well, we're here twice a week currently on Wednesdays and Fridays, packing surplus food that comes from various supermarkets and individuals as well,
That's right.
and distributing up to about 200 bags a day when we're here. It fluctuates, so we'll get to know there's various families that we've got to know and individuals who come regularly and those who are especially in need of certain items. So yeah, it's a nice team as well. I enjoy coming.
That's great. So you're here twice a week?
Yes, we
Yeah.
were here early in the year. It was 3 times a week.
That's right.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but it's currently twice a week.
Yeah.
On Friday we'll be, because this centre's shut, we'll
Yeah,
be
we're
just
done.
taking over the Ledbury Centre.
Fabulous.
So
That's right. I got to big Ruth up too, because she doesn't just help with Incredible Surplus. She's also really active with Eat, Make, Play and Light Up B16. I think you've got your fingers in lots of pies.
I
haven't
have
you?
got my fingers in lots of pies because it's enjoyable, and sometimes it takes me a while to get into the pie because I'm just a bit nervous. But yes, with the Eat, Make, Play, you know, I've really enjoyed making use of the videos, the Zooms,
That's right. You've been on, I
So-
think, all the Sing, Eat, Make, Play, Sing.
the singing. Yeah,
Grow.
Yeah.
You doing the grow?
I'm not doing the grow because it clashes with this one.
Yeah.
Right.
But
But you do grow.
I
You're a
do
grower.
grow,
I know
yes.
you're green finger. And then the other Eat, Make, Play Zoom was Stitch. And I know you
Yes.
do things with your hands, so you've
yes,
been-
so I enjoy the stitch because that's a good, you know, chance to have a natter. So I have to then do something where I don't have to concentrate, but it's good because
That's
then
right.
I'm introduced to lots of different people, so that makes you feel more comfortable, and then you join in more
Absolutely.
things. So
Wow. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for your time.
So
Thanks
you're
for
welcome.
stopping and saying hello.
Yeah.
Keep up the amazing work. And just to remind our viewers, how do people come and get a food parcel? Do they need to pre-book or anything?
don't
No?
need to pre-book. Anyone can turn up. The doors are open between 12 and 2 on Wednesdays and Fridays currently, and we just have to line up, socially distance, wear a mask if preferably. There is a pay-as-you-feel donation, but that's not necessary at all if you can't afford that, but it just enables more people to be helped
That's
if
it.
you can donate. So.
Well, thank you. And we were
Love you,
talking
Ruth.
about food, and now we know where to come. If we're desperate, we need food for our families and for ourselves, then you
Yeah.
can come and find Incredible Surplus.
That's right. And people collect for their neighbours who can't come out. So
That's it.
it's great.
Amazing, amazing.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Ruth.
See you,
Take care.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And a wonderful project they are as well, so
Yes,
doing some
they-
great work.
They are. They are. And one of the things as we're walking and talking to our next
Next
green
location.
space,
Yeah.
one of the things that's special to me about B16, I don't take it for granted because I've lived other places on 3 continents. What's that?
I think she wants you to call. I'll have a chat. You go and
Okay,
check.
hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Kate's just got Sam's attention, so we are walking through, and I'm just going to show you where we are reaching. So we're going to go over to a site of a school, the Oratory School, where Sam's been growing as well, and then we're going to go on to the actual Edgbaston Reservoir field that Sam referred to at the very start of the video. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm just going to speed up and make sure we get the full distance in and time, because we have got an hour and my battery won't last that long. So hopefully you can stay with us and enjoy this walk. It's an urban walk, as you can see. I'm walking through Ladywood. Lots of you are familiar. It's a very busy road on the side where I'm at now at the moment, so we might be getting some traffic noise, but as soon as we cross over and into our next space. Hopefully it's going to be a bit quieter and you can join us there and see us there. And please do chat to us in the comments. So if you're seeing anything that you like, or any more questions about anything, about Incredible Surplus, Eat, Make, Play, the Share Shack, just walking generally for your well-being, please ask me in the questions comments there, and my colleague who are watching from the Acting Wellbeing Society are monitoring also, so any comments that come through they can address as well if I can't get to them right now. So I'm just going to cross over here. I'm going to wait for Sam to join me as I show you some of the sites. So I'm turning the camera, I'm going over to this main road now where we've got the brand new Ladywood Leisure Centre on the side there. And this is the site of the Port Loop as well, so a lot of exciting developments happening in the Port Loop, and they've got a lovely green space that Port Loop manage as well through the work that they're doing with Civic Square, Canal and Rivers Trust, and Places for People, Urban Splash, Birmingham City Council. So that's a wonderful space, very close to where we are here, and by the Ladywood Leisure Centre. And Sam's back! Woo! He's had a little jog there, so
Got the
good
heart
to
rate
see.
up there.
Good to see, encouraging that. Yeah, he's a very fit man, very able and capable man.
Less fit than I have been.
So while you were gone, I was just showing our viewers where we are,
Yeah.
some of the local landmarks as well, and what's happening hereby. But I mentioned we're heading towards is it the Oratory School?
Oratory
Yeah.
Primary School, and that was actually a case in point that I was making about neighborhood connections in B16. I'm aware that there's a lot of collaboration happening,
Yeah.
and I don't take that for granted. I mean, people have worked at that. I've lived here since 2016, 15,
Yeah.
and just that example. So Margaret works for, or she volunteers for Incredible Surplus. She also does craft and arts with Eat, Make, Play, with Emergency Food. Eat, Make, Play, collaborated with TAWS, with Incredible Surplus. I compost for Incredible Surplus because that's one way I show up. I'll show you. And they also, it's kind of a friendly barter. Ann Gallagher has been really supportive and, you know, wants their van to be used and not just be sat there. So again, I'll do the compost, but we'll move like the brewery waste that you saw on those planters. That's composting. Mulching would be the technical term.
Mulching.
Mulching is when you you cover the ground, and then that holds moisture and breaks down and feeds the soil. So, but Anne's been really supportive with the van. And then Margaret was saying there, hey Sam, we've got a little pot of funding with tools. Let's share the tools. Like, we need to get on it. That was Margaret saying, like, we have tools. You've got planters. Let's join forces. So I think that's also a pattern that I think I would say is happening around green spaces. Taz is it's, you know, it's just an interesting thing about how when people are given the condition, kind of the invitation to be generous, to share, it's contagious.
So we're just joining Oliver Road. I'm just going to show you St. John's and St. Peter's Church is just there behind, and we are at the Oratory Primary and Nursery Roman Catholic School here on the corner, and this is where they've got a lovely garden space. Now tell us about what you mentioned this briefly to me the other day, but
kind of. So
what's the story about this space?
So here's the story. There's a little green corridor going on B16. That's what I want you to have in mind. It all kind of started, the energy was on the reservoir during lockdown, which I think we'll have time to end up there.
Yeah.
That was the space that we could meet outside, socially distanced, but physically connected, hands in the soil. That was sort of April 2020. And Abba, the same Abba that I mentioned back there, who has 3 children at this
At the
school,
school, yeah.
he came and just got absolutely stuck in and started, you know, banging the drum, saying to the head teacher here, Claire, you got to come see the garden on the field. And she said, well, I'll do you one better. Why don't we bring a garden to the school? Because they had a garden space here, but it was one of those things where parents, their kids leave the primary school and it kind of ran its course. But this John,
is the space,
yes. Let me just prepare John.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, John. How you doing?
So this is the space just on the Oliver Road for the corner of the Oratory School, and this is how Sam has got some volunteers together to recreate a garden here on this sort of like disused land that the school weren't using, and Sam has kindly offered to get this garden created. You can see it's taking place now, taking form, taking shape, and it's going to be a beautiful space here, right, for us to enjoy.
Just step in.
Yeah,
just do,
yeah, if you've got time, yeah.
Yeah, we do quickly. John's in get it done mode, so he's asked to be kept off camera.
Okay,
as much as
yeah,
possible.
sure. We'll keep the camera on Sam.
Yeah, that's right.
And not on the volunteers.
So
yeah.
I would say that storyline was Abba was connected at the field in one garden and connected us to this space. That began a conversation with the head teacher. The whole curriculum of the Catholic school is organized around a papal encyclical. It's a Catholic primary school, so the papal encyclical in English is called On Care for Our Common Home. So all of the values and the principles in the curriculum are around care, a culture of care, and that includes care for creation. So this is a Laudato Si garden, that it's that kind of Catholic network. It's about caring for creation. But it's also a garden that connects the planters that we just came from, the garden on the field. There's a wider network in Birmingham called Mother Gardens. So this is something that I really want to put a pin down here. Mother Gardens existed before lockdown. Felipe Molina over at Spring to Life has been a real catalyst and connector. Kath Fletcher over at Welsharsh Farm. I'm not going to try to name everyone because there's so many. I'm going to resist trying to name everyone, but it was a network that existed before COVID. But what I would say is it really came to life. It just manifests. I think there was such an appetite to connect to green spaces and to get back. Yeah, the well-being, I think, is probably the door that a lot of people were connecting through. So the planters that we just saw are a mother garden in B16. You're probably wondering what's a mother garden. It's simple. If you're willing to receive and share plants, you can become a mother garden. So this is, it's really a functional concept. It's not something that's difficult to get in. It's if you're willing to receive. So we've actually had people receive plants from us and then say, you know what, this has given me the push that I need. I'll give some to my neighbors, and they see their back garden as a mother garden. So it's a really active network. This is one. And after Easter, you can see we've spent the last 2 months doing the soft landscaping.
Yeah, I've
We've
just
got
the soft landscape
the
for the
kids.
garden.
We did it with year 5. The head teacher said, I want year 5 to be co-gardeners, co-designers with you. So you can see they were really into circles and not having everything boxy, which from a gardening standpoint is interesting because you always get more surface area with curves than you do with straight lines.
And one of the things that we noticed back there was that the planters were curved there as well, and it was a beautiful. And life is not about straight lines; it's all about curves. So we are blending in with that. So that's the idea, isn't it?
Take it and run.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And let me just introduce you. You might have seen there was a Facebook post that I put up about a month ago.
Yes.
This very compost pile that was. We pulled it back to check, and it was steam coming up.
It was steaming out. Yeah,
and,
I remember
again,
the video.
This fits with what we were talking about. I mean, I think most gardeners, once you get into it, you realize you need to think about. It's all about the soil. It's really everything starts with the soil, because if you care for the soil, the plants will respond. And so we're making soil here. I think that's the simplest way. This is our little mini factory, or area where we make soil, and we collect things that are being discarded. This sawdust is from a kitchen joinery on Frith Street, about 200 meters that way. The wood chip in these bags was from a tree that was cut down over here. There's soy pulp in Winston Green,
Yeah.
Wellington Street. You
Wellington
know it
Street, I
well
know
because
it
you
well.
grew up there.
Yeah.
There's a Chinese family that run a tofu factory. So the waste product from that is soy pulp, which is it's high in nitrogen. Really good accelerator. And again, then people. So we take these things, we put them together, which is what compost means, and we make the soil. But also, John, we don't have you on camera. But what's the story? What was the connection? The person who gave this?
He was my mate, so John Wall retired.
Yeah. So he was
His mum brought it for him,
right.
and then obviously he was moving out
Yeah.
of the school,
Yeah.
and obviously he gave it me.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
And originally I was going to set it up in my garden,
Right.
and decided to leave it here.
That's kind. We'll share it with it. We'll share it back.
So
with you.
nice of you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
yeah. So yeah, that's the other thing that I would say is there's a lot of this peer-to-peer sharing. Someone, it was going into disuse. We took it. I got a going away gift for you, Taz.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have. I don't know if you can get in here.
Yeah, I'll try and be careful not to knock over any of your plants.
We connected with another project. I'll big them up. That's
Yeah.
Urban Herbs. They're
Urban
over.
Herbs, yeah.
They're not far away.
Oregano.
And, yeah. This is hot and spicy oregano.
Okay,
So
I need
I-
to taste. Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of hard for the peeps at home, right?
I know, I
Can't
know.
enjoy
We-
the taste and smell.
Mm.
But you'll have to come to the garden.
Just
to-
a tiny petal and
Yeah.
the very strong taste and smell.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, that's
These are
delicious.
a variety called hot and spicy oregano, I would say in my
Yeah,
America.
oregano, as we
Yeah.
say. That's fantastic. So there we go. In his little space
Yeah,
there.
this is I think it's called a solar shed, so it's kind of a greenhouse stroke shed. These herbs will be going out right after Easter as part of one of the offers that we have. We call this home grow, which again started during COVID, with the Mother Gardens. Is some people sheltering in place, can't get away, but want to care for a plant. Home grow is we offer the plant, the support for you to grow at home. So that's what these are earmarked for. But we've got oregano, rosemary, purple sage, orange thyme, lemon thyme, Moroccan mint. What would you like to take away?
Moroccan mint for my tea would
Moroccan
be great.
All
Moroccan
right.
mint for my
Ready?
tea. That's my little treat. Yeah.
Shall I hold it for you while we walk?
We're gonna walk back out, but yeah, that will remind me of my trips abroad as well. So we're missing travel, but we've got these wonderful spaces right on our doorstep. Who needs to go somewhere when you can recreate Morocco here? Yeah.
This is your little patch of Morocco. Right?
Thank you,
God
guys.
bless you, man. Looking great. I'll catch you later.
So repurpose, reuse. Somebody mentioned in the comments that's exactly what we're saying.
That's it.
Repurpose and
Yeah,
reuse
yeah.
our whatever materials we've got. So if anybody's got anything and you are going to be not using it, if it's of use to Sam, please put it into the comments here. We'll look back at the comments once this live video is ended and we can answer anything, or if you've got anything useful that might be beneficial here in the Mother Garden project, let us know. And that's thank you,
Yeah.
Sam, if you can
Look at Taz, gorgeous
yeah.
mint there, Moroccan mint.
Moroccan mint.
We can even take it one step further, Taz, because we could hook you up with a little planter. You know, mint runs.
Yeah.
That's one of its characteristics. Could take over a bed, but yeah, if you put it in a planter or something, then you can have a lot of Moroccan mint.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to do that. So
Yeah.
in my back garden, I've started. Well, my wife during the lockdown got into growing, and like most people, we were in our confined spaces in the early lockdown, and we only had our garden. So we were just trying to look after our garden and learn a bit. So we started growing, and she really enjoyed that, and now it's taken her to another level. Got more interest in this, and that's where we come out and do some volunteering work in the communities with projects like Sam's mentioned today, here in Ladywood or wherever you are really. I've also done a lot of videos in allotment spaces as well, so it's another area that I hadn't been out for sensory walks before, and how we can connect to our local allotment space and learn about growing, maybe taking over a little allotment space there, or a half allotment, just to get you started. And yeah, see, this is so great for your well-being, isn't it, when you've grown something yourself and brought it home for yourself, or you shared it with your community and say, this is from my allotment space. And that's the best, isn't it? The best feeling ever.
No doubt, man.
So we're walking on Reservoir Road, and we're going to head towards Edgbaston Reservoir. Now, yesterday I was here and it was very busy in the evening. So I do a run session here on the Tuesday and Thursday. I'm only allowed to be in bubbles of 5 at the moment with me. So we are 2 run leaders, so we each can lead a bubble of 5 runners. So we are meeting at this spot here Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and then on Sunday mornings we will be doing a run about 9 o'clock in the morning. But at the moment that's just by invite only and by reserving a spot. But hopefully once the restrictions ease, and we have got some government road map, haven't we, about when we can have groups of 30 again soon, or under 30. So that would really help bring all those people who are desperate to come back out and connect. But look, you can still do it. Like you can see just down there behind Sam, there's a couple who are doing some skipping.
That's it.
Yeah, they found the space, they found the
They're
Muga.
faithful. I'm cycling through here. They're here regularly.
So they're using that space for their own well-being, coming out, doing a bit of physical exercise and keeping themselves.
Now, Taz, I got a question for you. I think it was on Sunday. I saw you. There were runners,
right.
and you were behind them on a bike.
Okay, yeah.
So what's that all about?
So one of our inspirational volunteer run leaders who leads the group from this exact spot, so the Tower and the Reservoir Road is where our meeting point is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. He decided during lockdown that he wanted to challenge himself to run a marathon. So he started training throughout the lockdown 3.0 that we just come out of, and he said that for him to end lockdown 3.0, he wants to run that marathon on that day. And so on a Sunday, the 28th, we went out and he ran an amazing 3 hours 56 minutes and 57 seconds odd for a sub 4 hour personal best marathon. And then those who are watching, a marathon is 26.2 miles, right?
it.
And he did that in under 4 hours. And I could, the only reason I was on the bike, because I can't keep up with that kind of pace running, so I had to be on my bike following for 26 miles as support, as he's my volunteer run leader and I'm there to support him. And I've shown my support by giving him that that friendly chat, that person, that little motivation in the air that you need when you're finding you're facing that wall. And that's just a metaphor. It could be anything in life. When you're facing that wall, you need that one person to give you those kind words, those encouraging, motivational words. And that's what I did. So that's the story behind that.
Well done, mate. And well, big props to you for finishing that in time. We're close to the reservoir. I'm going to take a quick pause. And
You know your army's come strong to jog in it.
that's it.
Yeah, the people out jogging.
Run Nation is out today. And I just wanted to big up, this is the Tower Ballroom. Its significance is around culture and history, and I just wanted to give big props to Iris and Iris Burtz and the crew that produced the Dreaming Tower Ballroom, because they've really done some amazing, just Google Dreaming Tower Ballroom. There's a video production and a social media campaign around this space. And
it's a wonderful project. I've seen it, and since then I've got involved with Iris's My Reservoir project. So there's another project where we've all created our own little videos about what does this space mean for us. So I've done one based on my running family and how I started my own running journey here at the reservoir, my own journey towards health and fitness. So yeah, do check out that. That's all on YouTube and on the Iris's pages as well, which we can link into later on in this in the comments of this video.
Now we're at the green jewel of Birmingham.
Yes,
The reservoir.
I'm very proud of our green jewel,
right?
especially as Chris Vaughan would say in his chats with me about the green jewel.
Yeah.
The Friends of Edgbaston Reservoir
Absolutely.
and the Reservoir,
Friends
Edgbaston
of
Reservoir Consortium groups.
That's
yeah.
right. So Friends have been active, I think, going all the way back to the early 90s, to advocate for this space and to protect it. It's a local nature reserve, which is an official designation. Again, and it's one of those spaces that it just has so many functions, right? You know, it was designed as a kind of engineering experiment to feed the reservoir, and over the decades has become such a vital,
It's a
habitat.
lifeline for
It's a paradox, isn't it? That you have this man-made or human-made intervention that's created so much habitat, and also for non-human or more than human life, but also just you grew up here, right?
Yeah,
So
this
what are
is
your
home.
early memories about
Well,
this
I
place?
remember coming here with my grandparents, who'd bring me out on my little bike here and come to this spot, and then we used to come and cycle along here. And then from that those early memories of being around water, because for us being Birmingham landlocked, we were quite far from the seaside. So this was our little escape here. This is where
Right.
we'd come, maybe sit, splash, put your feet in the water as a child. That's
Did
the
you
best feeling ever,
Okay,
isn't
right.
it? Yeah.
No swimming, but
No
yeah, just
swimming. I
maybe
wasn't
just-
brave enough. We weren't allowed in the water.
Right.
But no. But you could, do a little bit of a dipping your feet in the water, and helping, your family to get around, walk around, cycle around. So yeah, that's my earliest memories of the reservoir. And since then, like I said, I've started a running group around here. We do a regular run on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Sunday morning. Sunday morning run is normally within the reservoir, Tuesday and Thursday because it's quite late and it gets dark. So we go out and we do a loop around B16 and the streets, the wonderful streets of B16, which are safe, wide, lit and really nice. And you meet regulars and you meet people like Sam, as I've seen on Sunday. And we always say hello, and you see your regular dog walkers, and you say hello. And the water level's quite high down here, but it's right by the rowing club, which is good for the rowers.
That's it. Yeah, it's quite high right now.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me, just because I normally work kind of crescent on the other side.
Yeah.
Because I dog walk, and then the garden where we end up. But I'm just noticing this tree in bloom, and I hadn't noticed that before. Again, I think it's just these little things that you pick up.
Yes.
Also, last year, it might have been this tree, Taz. Can you see this?
Yes.
This tree that's over.
Yeah.
So I'll give a shout to my friend Katerina Vitova, who again is connected in a lot of neighborhood stuff, and is one of the keenest foragers I know. She introduced me to chicken in the wood.
Yeah.
Or hen in the wood, chicken in the wood. But yeah, she looked for it on dead wood, and sure enough, and I remember Abba climbing, and we foraged this spot. So now I'm giving
Chicken
away all
in
the
the
forage
wood.
tips.
So look out for that. Chicken in the wood. We'll have a read
Chicken
about
in
that.
the wood.
Oh, there's a robin there singing his heart out behind us.
Yeah.
So great spot for wildlife as well, isn't
right.
it? So not just for your well-being, you
Yeah.
to see the animals.
There will
and
be-
wildlife.
There will be one more foraging tip, because we're coming to a spot in probably about 4 minutes
Yeah.
that I'll have to share. But I think the more time I'm around foragers, it gets back to sharing. If you're passionate about something, it's natural that you want to share it, right? So it's not about
Yeah.
hoarding it for
I
yourself.
just want to stop here because you can see someone's done some litter picking and put the bags there. And there's another point that we raised earlier is about looking after our green spaces and connecting through, keeping our streets and green spaces tidy. It's been wonderful to have lots of litter picking groups coming out, socially distanced in pairs, taking over their streets, adopting their streets, and looking after these wonderful spaces. Now, if I turn the camera,
Yeah.
you can see I can't see any litter here, which is great.
Yeah.
It's what we want to see. That people come and use the space, but take your rubbish away. And
That's
if the
it.
bin's
That's
full,
it. And
you can actually take the rubbish with you. And we've got the council out here doing their bits as well, which is fantastic. It's a team effort. And thank you, Birmingham City Council.
Thank you. Looks
Thank you
great.
very much. And thank you all the litter picking crew.
That's right.
Locally with the Weesheaf residents, NEAT, North Edgbaston Action Team, Shaban and Thomas, who are amazing, going
That's right.
out there and doing their work around the city road and beyond. the Friends of Harborne Walkway, which is not too far away from here as well, and they do their regular litter picks as well. So it's a community effort that we've got this wonderful space.
You right? How's it going? Yeah, all right, man. Yeah, that's a good word. I mean, yeah, to see it tidy and where it's meant to be. And it was great, you know, council have to do their part. I know I've been talking with neighbors recently. Scott Hewer and Ellie over on Link Road
Yes.
are also really active. You mentioned Need and Thomas. There are lots of groups. And I think we need a range of responses, don't we? Because I mean, litter it's one of those things that's just it seems to be a perpetual challenge.
Yeah.
There is a place for council and that kind of structural intervention and infrastructure, but also what Scott and Ellie have encouraged people to do, and what I've started to do on dog walking is to do the thing when you're you know, to stack it around what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'll take a bag when I walk Rio, our dog, and
Yeah.
pick up, and to keep the area tidy in front of where you live, because I think that can also catch on.
Yeah.
If I care for my patch and you care for yours, then neighbors,
Yeah.
it becomes a kind of knock-on effect, doesn't it?
And
And I'm not saying that's the only way.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's not the only solution, but I think it's something citizens can be asking themselves, what can I do without anyone's permission, or that's just now?
Yeah.
And then what do we need council to do, right? And to meet in the middle.
That's right. So yeah, I've been doing my local street, and not just my area, but my neighbours' areas, and you know, and they've really stopped and thanked me, and they've even said, oh, what is this? How do I get involved? So there you've suddenly got a movement created, and people can join and take pride of the area, and it's all about, you know, looking after our areas as well, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm loving this. The daffodils are out behind
Absolutely.
Sam.
Yes.
What a
And
wonderful
the
day.
nettles. We
Yeah.
shouldn't neglect the nettles.
Nettle tea.
Nettle tea. Telling you, nettles. Should we do a quick zoom?
Yeah.
Here's some
Yeah.
some new nettles. Now, I wouldn't probably pick
No,
these
pick
because
these
of how
here.
close
So
they're
close
to
to
the
the,
path. But nettles are, the more I learn about foraging in this country, how important nettles were for diet, for iron, and it's a superfood. It's the new spinach.
Yeah. So when you are foraging, you have to be careful. But in between the nettles, you do have some things that may be poisonous. So you have to be careful
That's
with
right.
the flowers that you
Speaking
are
of
picking.
foraging,
foraging,
that
yeah.
we have some
Foragers out.
foragers in action. Yeah,
So around by where I live now, Sayhole Mill, there's lots of wild garlic everywhere. The
that's
smell
it.
of wild
You
garlic.
can, you
Yeah.
can smell it right here. Hi.
Hello.
I'll just let them know.
Yeah.
But if you want to tell them about what
Sure. So wild garlic over at Sayhole Mill has been great. It's out everywhere now. Perfect time to pick. And here we've got foraging spot as well, so you can see there's a lovely wild garlic and others growing here, and some people are foraging at the moment. Yeah.
It's live on Facebook, and I was just letting you know, you can be on it if you want. You don't have to be. But I was commenting on this space. It's fine. Yeah, we'll just comment about the space. But enjoy your foraging.
So that's great. That people can come and forage here
Yeah.
and take, you know, and
Yeah.
and there's plenty for everyone
This
to
is-
share. I can
yeah.
smell it now. I don't know.
Can you smell it now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do one so people can get a good
Yeah, so
look.
this is great to make pesto, to put on
Yeah,
your
so
pizza,
that's one
to
of
put
the
in
leaves.
your curries. There we go. Look, that's one of the.
that's it.
Yeah.
One of the leaves. And click on that. And yeah, that's what they're doing this patch. So if you're familiar with the reservoir, it's close to the Rotten Park entrance. If you were to enter the reservoir from the Rotten Park entrance, come down the hill.
Yeah, this is the Rotten Park entrance.
Yeah, this is the Rotten Park entrance. If you were to come from Rotten Park towards the reservoir, then you would turn right, and it's about 80 meters down on your right.
Yeah,
There's a patch, and this time of year you'll just smell it,
yeah.
and it will blossom in April, and good, isn't it?
It's great. So, well, for our viewers, we're just going to let you know that we are almost round to the field where we're going to be ending the walk. So, thank you very much for staying on and watching. I know we've gone over a little bit, but it's fine. We did say it might be 45 minutes or an hour. We're trying to get it within the hour. We just want to show you this wonderful space that we have here where we can end the video. and why not come around and do a lap of the reservoir at the same time as well. So
That's it.
yeah, that's my steps done for the day, and I have got another run session this evening as well, so I'll be definitely on the 10,000 steps a day that the doctor recommends we do.
That's it.
This is a wonderful space behind here, Sam. You can see there, the bench there, there's the tree that's been placed down there, and children can use that as a little climbing frame, a little balance challenge. Morning.
Morning.
And a wonderful view of the reservoir from here.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And then coming across to where we entered by the Tower Ballroom. You can see that through the trees here. Oh, just love this space. This is like my office, you know, this is the best office you can have.
Yeah.
An outdoor office like that.
Do you keep office hours, Taz?
Yes, office hours. This is office time.
Yeah, you're in the office, right?
Yeah. When you put that out of office, you know, on your signature strip on your email.
Right.
This is where I am, guys, when you see the out of office sign on.
I'm gonna have to nick that one from you. I'll meet you by the garden, aka office. Keeping office hours.
Yeah. So we did a video earlier with Companions for Hope, Tim Aho, and we got to this point we're reaching now. So if anyone didn't see that video, you can always watch it back. It's on Facebook, as are all our other sensory walk videos that we've created. You can look back through, scroll back through the videos page on the Active Wellbeing Society and find that. But that was really interesting because Tim and Sam also part of Companions for Hope.
That's right.
And you're both Americans as well, so as you can tell by accent. What's your little story as we're walking up to the field about
Right.
your time here? You said you've been in Birmingham 2016?
We just had our well in B16.
B16.
But in Birmingham since 2010. So the end
Yeah.
of 2010 was our 10-year anniversary, which is significant because it also marked 5 years on our current visa, which means we can apply for indefinite leave to remain. And last week, Taz, we passed our life in the UK test.
Oh, well
I'd like
then,
to see if you could pass it.
congratulations, but I probably
Yeah.
would fail it.
If you took it cold, I'd like to see if you could pass it. But God willing, we'll get our indefinite leave to remain, and then you'll be stuck with us. But yeah,
Well-
I came here to study in 2010.
Birmingham University?
Yep. I did a PhD in theology, and short version, we got stuck in. We have, at that time, 3 teenagers, and every parental and vocational fiber in my body was put down roots.
Yeah.
I'm from the States. My wife is from Brazil. We had lived in both continents, and being in a third continent, it was time for the kids to have that home base. So yeah, you grew up here, but I would say Birmingham has become my third home.
Okay.
Yeah.
First home.
Yeah.
So where's first home?
First home is North Carolina.
North
East
Carolina.
Coast, yeah. Second home is Londrina, Brazil.
Wow. Yeah.
And but I started calling it my third home because psychologically, if you always think of home as where you're from,
Yeah.
then, and if you're not in that same place, then you're always kind of looking back in a way. So it's interesting. You grew up here, so this
Yeah,
is
home,
this
yeah.
is your first home.
First
and,
home, yeah.
This is my
Origins
third
are
home.
from Pakistan, so
Yeah.
second, you could say second home for
But,
family. My
yeah.
mum and dad have a family home
Yeah.
there, so they would like to visit sometimes on occasion. But
it.
for us, home is here, and
yeah, and
home is where your heart is as well. Like
home
they
is
say.
where you have a life. Exactly, it's where your heart is. It's where you have a life, and like Tim and Tammy, we've been really blessed to be in a place that's not where we're from,
Yeah.
and yet to belong and to have it as home. So that's a good thing. We're rocking up here.
So we've come to the
Yeah.
site of the field. Now we've done some amazing events here in the field.
Yeah.
What were they called, and how many did you do?
Right. So in 2018, as part of the Use It project, which was a place-based community development initiative with lots of partners, we did an event on the. So hi, Simon, what's up, man?
So
Yeah,
while
so,
Sam
yeah, we're
opens
here.
the gate, so
No, yeah, I'll
I'm
get the
just
gate.
gonna let Sam open the gate, and then he can explain
Yeah.
what this field's used for and who it belongs to and what's going on back there. Some interesting stuff I can see. Holly Tunnel and a red building being built there as well, which is part of the Birmingham settlement development.
So the quick story is this. Actually, as a dog walker, I started coming onto this space and getting all my neighborhood recon from the dog walkers.
Yeah.
And this space, we found out, and then we did a bit of a formal exercise called an asset map about places in B16 that are underutilized or designated as community assets, but maybe the community isn't accessing them to the full. Everything from the fence line in is owned by Birmingham Settlement, which is a charity based in Aston, but they have reach across the city. There's a covenant on this space for community purpose. So we got in touch with Martin Holcomb. Martin, he's been really supportive, and the idea was he came to Neighbor Nights, our community neighborhood potluck back in 2018, and the idea came to the surface. He said, there's a covenant, we want to sort of reboot it for activity, and the idea came, let's do something on the Maybank holiday. And I think we had sort of 3 weeks lead time, and we did a kind of test drive that was really good. And then with Eva Bennett and Arts Coop, they were going to do an event later, 2018, and we just sort of stacked our event with their event, and we called that event Eat, Make, Play, because that's what we were going to do. We're going to eat, we're going to make, we're going to play music, and that name just sort of stuck. Thank you, Jenny Sanford. I think that was Jenny Sanford that gave us the name. And that was 2018. Did it again 2019. Repeat performance. I mean, you were here. Taz brought their game. I mean, there was 400 plus maybe. I mean, it was a really lovely event, and it just felt like, I remember saying, it felt like all the different tribes, in the best sense, of the neighborhood, the different groups and people finding one another. It's kind of 80% local, 20% citywide, and it was a really lovely event. And yeah, I would say that gave us the confidence to kind of, and the community research we did was, people said, that's a lovely annual event. How do we do that every day? What would it take to stitch, to grow, to play music, to connect around food, which is a big thread, to do that more every day? Because those are things that aren't services in a strict sense. Those are things that you lead on, that citizens lead on. So that led to Eat, Make, Play becoming a community organization, a partnership with TAWS, and where we converge and what we want to see happening around the share economy, that kind of thing. That led to the share library. But shall we walk and talk?
Yeah.
I'll point out two things as we walk. This building here that's got this really lovely bright cladding, that's the community build. So Martin, on the back of those events, was able to go back to his trustees and board and say, it's time. Let's build it, and they'll keep coming.
Yeah.
And that's community build. I have it in my head that the target opening is kind of late summer, July. Yeah, July. Yeah. So watch this space, B16. Birmingham, this space is going to come back to life.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And yeah, maybe this will be the last feature on the walk, because I know we're bumping up on the hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, this garden came to life during lockdown. And yeah, the quick story is, it actually goes back to TAWS, that we were doing things in the shop. We couldn't reach our community from the shop. So we started thinking, how do we support? And I thought of this idea of a plant pipeline, growing plants here, getting them to people, like the home grow concept. We did that. We got permission from Birmingham Settlement to also build a grow site, because you could see this field, it's really spacious. And it's not about turning the field into a farm, but it is about growing. This field will have lots of functions.
Yeah, I'm just showing the field. Look at the size of the field.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's just this little space here that we've turned into the growing area.
So a couple of story. So yeah, Martin gave us permission to grow, and this garden was born. This garden, and it's about 15 meters by 10 meters. So it's kind of like an allotment plot, but it functions as a mother garden that I described earlier, to receive, to share, to support other growing sites. But it's also got a polytunnel here.
Yeah.
That was already here from another group called Warm Earth. And we liaised with them to use it, and lovely story. And I'll end with this. When we started growing here last year, I actually had Rio on lead, and I was coming to water the plants. It was almost exactly a year ago. This garden wasn't here, just the polytunnel and several hundred seedlings. And I was walking up Taz, and I came through that gate, and there was someone in the polytunnel, seed tray, watering can, just carrying on like he owned the place. And I was like, what's going on? And I calmly approached him and just said, hey man, what's up? And he said, he's from Chile. He said, my name is Guillermo, or Will. I'm from Chile. I'm a permaculture gardener, and I'm here to help you.
Wow.
How beautiful is that?
Beautiful.
And the immediate thought I had is, God has sent me an angel to like in the flesh, has sent this person. Actually, it was two people. His girlfriend was here, Will and Fran. Big shout to Will and Fran. They're now in Portugal, but they were visiting during lockdown and literally got stuck in Birmingham. Super skillful gardener, and he's a carpenter. So you can see we
upcycled some crates.
Yeah, this is Will's handiwork, and Will and Fran, and then Abba and Ray, and again, I'm not going to be able to remember everyone, but we found each other. I think this garden was where the biggest crop last year was friendship, and it will come back to life. And it's a mother garden. We're getting set to do the reboot this year. So that's just a little bit of the green corridor in B16, and I'm sure wherever you are in Birmingham, that there are patches like this, and I would look forward to seeing those places, maybe visiting them, and receiving you here so that we can keep finding each other in the garden.
That's wonderful. Well, we've come to the end of the video. Unfortunately, we could have carried on. We've gone beyond the time, but thanks for sticking with us. We have another session that we need to end for now. I'm going to turn the camera back to me, and we can thank. There we go. Thanks, Sam, for the wonderful time that we've spent together, for learning about growing, for learning about B16 and the wonderful community that we have here. And if you are new to the community, please get in touch, find out ways with all those wonderful projects that we mentioned. Any one of them, get involved. Doesn't have to be for us, tours or Eat, Make, Play. Anyone that you're interested in. If you want more information, we can always put the links to all those community networks in the chat of this video. We're going to come back and look back at your comments now, because we've been busy with the walk, so we can address any questions you have for us as well. And just want to say thank you. Go out, enjoy the wonderful day. We've been blessed today. We've had a beautiful day. But go out to your local green space, learn about growing, learn about connecting with your neighbours as well. And let's invite us out to a walk in your area. Put a few suggestions of where I should come and do my next sensory walk, because this is a community partnership. It's like letting people know what's happening in their area that they're proud of. So I'm going to end there and say thank you, and let's see you tomorrow if you're available, because I'm going to be out on a sensory walk with the Waste Warriors. We were talking about litter earlier. They'll tell their wonderful story about how they've been helping inner city communities, taking care of the streets and getting rid of fly tipping and litter. So thank you very much. Take care. God bless. See you soon. Bye.